Here are some custom turbine housings that I had made for the HX40 64 by 76, and also I can machine them out for the 67 by 76. But if you buy it, just make sure you leave a note in the description that you do want it machined for the 67 by 76. First off, this is a .82 T3 turbine housing. Basically, I made a model of this housing from I think it was an AGP .82, and I really wanted to have these made for the Holset HX40s because I think this is the most ideal housing there is on the market. And we were tired of paying a lot of money for precision turbine housing that we'd have to spend $225 for, and then the customer would have to pay me to machine it, so it just wasn't worth it. So now that we have these housings, it significantly cuts the cost down for our customers, and also for people that either want to buy it or want us to build the turbo for them. So here's the 64 by 76 turbine. That's the stock HX40 turbine. This is the 67 by 76. You can find some of these on the H1Es, but they're super rare. However, this is a turbine that I do stock, so it's much easier to grab it from us than to try and find one. Now here's the 67 by 89 by 95 compressor, and I'll just demonstrate how that fits in the cartridge, or in the turbine housing. So this one's a 64 millimeter model. They're all 64 millimeter, but I can CNC them out to the 67. And also keep in mind there's the BEP .70, but you're better off with this one, and the reason why is because of how this is designed right here, so that it's closer to the turbine. That really helps with the spool. So here's the 64 by 76 turbine, and you can see how close it comes to the end of the spiral. It just helps aim the back pressure at the turbine, which really helps with the spool up. And not all turbine housings are made like that, but you will notice that a lot of the precision ones are made like that, and that's just the way it was designed specifically for spool and performance. So here's the 67 by 76. And also I'll link to all these parts in the description box so you can check them out. These will come with the Vband outlet. I'm still waiting on getting them, but as soon as you see the pictures up and the description right for the saying that it contains the Vband outlet, then that's when I'll have them. So here's the fitment of the Holset cartridge and the turbine housing. Ian actually machined this one earlier. So this is a good idea if you have want to do the 67 by 89 by 95 compressor. You could pick up this turbine housing and the turbine wheel and build it a true 67. Also, another thing that I do want to mention for the turbine wheels, there's a 10 and a 12 blade available for each of these. But I would just recommend go with the 12 and the 10 blade because it's lighter weight and it really doesn't seem to affect spool time from what we've always noticed. So just keep that in mind, that just go with the 10 blade. That's what I would recommend anyway. We could also build you a whole unit if we have enough time to do it. Some people want it really quickly, and sometimes it's hard to do. So one of the main advantages of going with this .82 over the factory housing is just for one, you're saving a lot more weight by going with this turbine housing rather than the stock turbine housing from the HX40 or HX35. Also, I want to mention that this does not fit HE351, HE351VE, HE341, or the HY series because they have a different bearing housing. So it's lighter weight. You'll also see faster spooling because it's a little bit smaller. It's more of a performance design housing. Also, it's open and not twin scroll, so if you're looking for a twin scroll, this definitely wouldn't be the housing for you. These turbine shafts are already balanced. You could just assemble the shaft with the compressor wheel as a component balance setup and be fine. However, we do have an assembly or a balancer to where we can balance the assembly if you want to do that. There is a 67 by 89 by 95 compressor with a 67 by 70 VE turbine. This is specifically just for the variable geometry turbos. So basically what you can see here is that when balancing it as an assembly, it takes in consideration these two thrust components and the compressor nut. And that's really the difference between a component balance setup. As a component balance setup would just be this shaft being balanced and just the compressor wheel. And you can throw that on for the whole set, so that was perfectly fine. The majority of the whole sets that were shipped out were built previously never were balanced other than just components. However, some of the older models were balanced as a assembly, but all the newest ones, they're just balanced as components now because it's so much faster. Also, this is our balancer. It's a West Coast Balancer T3 Model C. It's kind of an expensive machine, but it does really good work and it helps us get everything down to less than 1 inch gram. So thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions about this product, please comment below and I'll be sure to answer them for you, or you can always email us at turbolabamerica@gmail.com.